Welcome back! Today we're diving into 5 of the most heartwarming animal rescue stories you'll ever hear. These tales are about loyalty, compassion, and the incredible bond between humans and animals. Get ready for stories that will melt your heart and remind you of the good in the world. Grab a tissue and settle in. These stories will leave you smiling through your tears. And don't miss the last one. It's the most unbelievable of all. Let's get started. At the heart of a bustling Japanese city, where the rhythm of life is set by the constant arrival and departure of trains, there stood a station that was more than just a place of transit. It was a crossroads of stories, of reunions and farewells, and for one remarkable Akita dog, a place of unwavering devotion. Every morning, as the sun rose and commuters hurried to their destinations, a loyal Akita named Kaito would take his place on the platform. With his soft, watchful eyes and gentle demeanor, he waited patiently for his beloved owner to return from work, just as he had done every day before. But one fateful evening, as the last train pulled away and the crowds thinned, Kaito's owner did not appear. Unbeknownst to the faithful dog, his owner had passed away unexpectedly, leaving Kaito alone in a world that suddenly felt much colder and emptier. Yet, Kaito's loyalty was unshaken. Day after day, through the relentless downpours of spring and the biting winds of winter, he returned to the same spot on the platform. The seasons changed around him. Cherry blossoms fell, snow blanketed the tracks, and still, Kaito waited, his hope undimmed by the passage of time. The community soon took notice of the solitary figure who braved the elements with such quiet dignity. Commuters, touched by his steadfastness, began to leave bowls of food and water by his side. Some would pause to offer a gentle pat or a kind word, but Kaito's gaze remained fixed on the tracks, searching for the face he longed to see. Among those who watched over Kaito was a gentle-hearted rescuer named Maria. She understood the language of loss and patience. Day after day, she sat quietly beside him, never forcing affection, simply offering her presence. Slowly, Kaito began to trust her, sensing the warmth and understanding in her gentle touch. After many weeks of silent companionship, a bond formed between them. One crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the station, Kaito finally stood up and with a hesitant but hopeful heart, followed Maria away from the only home he had known since his loss. Together, they walked into a new chapter, leaving behind the echoes of waiting and sorrow. In Maria's care, Kaito discovered a world beyond the station. He learned to play again, to rest in the warmth of a loving home, and to trust the gentle hands that now cared for him. Surrounded by a new family, he found comfort and joy, slowly mending the wounds of his heart and learning that love could be found again, even after great loss. Kaito's story spread throughout the city and beyond, touching the hearts of people everywhere. Inspired by his resilience and the kindness of those who helped him, many donated to animal rescues and shelters, hoping to give other animals a second chance. His journey became a symbol of hope, healing, and the extraordinary power of compassion. Through his unwavering loyalty and the kindness he received, Kaito showed us that even the deepest heartbreak can be mended. He reminded us that love, once given, leaves an indelible mark on our lives, and that with patience and care, even the most broken spirits can find happiness again. In the end, Kaito's journey teaches us that love, though sometimes lost, never truly leaves us. It lives on in the memories we cherish, the kindness we share, and the hope we inspire in others. After a storm, Sarah heard a faint cry from a storm drain. A kitten was trapped below. She rallied her neighbors, and together they called the fire department. Firefighters carefully lifted the heavy grate and rescued the tiny, shivering kitten. The neighborhood cheered as Sarah wrapped the kitten, now named Piper, in a warm towel. Piper's rescue brought the community together, reminding everyone that every life matters. Sarah adopted Piper, who grew into a beloved, mischievous cat. Piper's story spread, inspiring gratitude and connection. Sometimes it takes a tiny meow to unite a whole neighborhood. Compassion can turn strangers into a family. For half a century, Raju the elephant endured a life of unimaginable hardship. Shackled by heavy chains that cut deep into his skin, he spent every day in isolation, deprived of the simple joys that every living being deserves. His world was one of pain, neglect, and loneliness, with only the clinking of his chains for company. Each day blurred into the next, as he stood alone longing for a gentle touch or a kind word, something to remind him that hope still existed. But far away, a group of compassionate people refused to let Raju's suffering go unnoticed. Wildlife SOS, a dedicated UK-based charity, learned of his plight and made it their mission to give him a second chance at life. For an entire year, they worked tirelessly, navigating legal hurdles, gathering resources, and assembling a team of experts. Their determination was unwavering, fueled by the belief that every animal deserves freedom and dignity. On a humid night, under the cover of darkness, the rescue team arrived. The air was thick with tension and anticipation. As the rescuers approached, Raju seemed to sense that something extraordinary was about to happen. With gentle hands and quiet voices, they began to cut away the chains that had bound him for so long. In that moment, tears streamed down Raju's face. Tears not just of pain, but of overwhelming relief. For the first time in 50 years, he felt the weight of his chains lift, both from his body and his spirit. Carefully, the team guided Raju onto a truck, beginning the journey to his new home. The road to the sanctuary was long, but every mile brought him closer to a life he had never known. When the truck finally stopped, Raju hesitated for a moment, then stepped onto soft grass, a sensation he hadn't felt in decades. The earth beneath his feet was cool and gentle, a silent promise of better days ahead. At the sanctuary, Raju was greeted by a herd of elephants, gentle giants who had also been rescued from lives of hardship. For the first time, he was not alone. He reached out with his trunk, touching another elephant, and was met with kindness and acceptance. The bonds of friendship began to form, and Raju discovered the comfort of companionship, something he had been denied for so long. The journey to healing was slow and required patience. Raju's body bore the scars of his captivity, deep wounds and sores that needed careful tending. But the caretakers at the sanctuary were gentle and attentive, treating his injuries with love and respect. Over time, the physical wounds began to close, and just as importantly, the emotional scars started to fade. Raju learned that not all humans brought pain. Some brought comfort, care, and hope. As days turned into weeks, Raju's spirit blossomed. He discovered the simple pleasures of life, splashing in cool water, playing with other elephants, and exploring the sanctuary grounds. Each playful moment was a step toward reclaiming the life he was meant to live. He learned to trust again, to play without fear, and to embrace the joy of being an elephant. Raju's transformation is a powerful testament to the resilience of the spirit and the healing power of compassion. His journey from despair to hope shows us that, with kindness and determination, even the deepest wounds can heal. He now stands tall and proud, a symbol of what is possible when we choose empathy over indifference. Today, Raju roams freely across vast fields, savoring every moment of his newfound freedom. His story reminds us all that it's never too late for a new beginning, no matter how long the darkness has lasted. Every sunrise brings new hope, and every step he takes is a celebration of life's endless possibilities. In the end, Raju's journey teaches us that every act of kindness, no matter how small, can change a life forever. When we choose to care, we become part of a story of hope, healing, and transformation. Let Raju's first steps of freedom inspire us to make a difference, one compassionate act at a time. A duckling fell through a sewer grate while crossing the road with its family. The mother duck refused to leave, quacking desperately for her lost baby. A kind police officer, Officer Miller, arrived and called for help. With the public works crew, they lifted the grate and rescued the duckling. The reunion was pure joy. The duckling rushed to its mother, and the family continued their journey. Onlookers cheered, moved by the simple act of kindness. For that duck family, it meant everything. Small acts of compassion can make a world of difference. Sometimes being a hero is as simple as stopping to help. After a devastating wildfire swept through their quiet neighborhood, a family returned to the smoldering ruins of what was once their beloved home. The air was thick with the scent of ash and loss, and every step crunched over memories reduced to rubble. As they walked through the charred remains, their hearts were heavy with grief, not just for their lost possessions, but for their missing cat, Rusty, who had been with them for years. The family had been forced to evacuate quickly, and in the chaos, Rusty had disappeared. They feared the worst, imagining that their loyal companion had been lost to the flames. But as they searched the blackened landscape, a faint, desperate meow broke the silence. To their astonishment, they discovered Rusty, singed, dirty, and trembling, hiding beneath the burnt-out shell of a car. Somehow, against all odds, he had survived the inferno, finding shelter in the only place left standing. His fur was scorched and his eyes were wide with fear, but he was alive. The family called his name, and Rusty, recognizing their voices, slowly crawled out from his hiding place, his body weak but his spirit unbroken. Emaciated and burned, Rusty limped into his owner's arms, sparking tears of joy and relief. The reunion was raw and emotional. Rusty's purrs mingled with the sobs of his family, who had feared they would never see him again. In that moment, surrounded by devastation, hope flickered back to life. The family held him close, whispering words of comfort and gratitude, overwhelmed by the miracle of his survival. It was a moment none of them would ever forget, a testament to the resilience of both pet and people. Without hesitation, they rushed Rusty to an emergency veterinarian. The journey was tense, every minute feeling like an eternity as they worried about his injuries. At the clinic, the veterinary team sprang into action, treating his burns, cleaning his wounds, and wrapping his tiny paws in soft bandages. The road to recovery would be long and uncertain, but Rusty's will to live was clear. The family visited him every day, bringing his favorite blanket and gentle words, determined to help him heal. News of Rusty's incredible survival spread quickly through the community. Neighbors who had lost so much found comfort in his story, a small beacon of hope amid the devastation. The family shared their experience, and soon, Rusty became a symbol of resilience and hope for everyone affected by the wildfire. Local news outlets covered his rescue, and people from all around sent messages of support, inspired by the little cat who refused to give up. With unwavering love and care, Rusty began to heal. Each day, he grew a little stronger, his wounds slowly closing and his fur starting to regrow. The family surrounded him with affection, never letting him feel alone. Rusty's playful spirit returned, and soon he was chasing toys and curling up in his favorite spots once more. His journey was not easy, but his courage and the devotion of his family made all the difference. As Rusty recovered, the family began the difficult process of rebuilding their lives. Together, they cleared debris, made plans for a new home, and leaned on each other for strength. Through every challenge, Rusty was there, a living reminder that even in the darkest times, hope can survive. When their new house was finally complete, Rusty was the first to explore every room, his presence a blessing and a symbol of new beginnings. In the warmth of their rebuilt home, Rusty thrived. He cuddled with his family, basked in the sunlight, and purred contentedly, surrounded by those who loved him most. The bond between Rusty and his family had grown even stronger, forged in the fire of adversity and tempered by compassion. Their hearts, once heavy with loss, were now filled with gratitude for the miracle that was Rusty. Rusty's story is more than just a tale of survival. It's a testament to the unbreakable bond between pets and their families. Through every hardship, they stood by each other, proving that love can endure even the greatest of tragedies. Rusty became a cherished member of the family, his resilience inspiring everyone who heard his story. In the ashes of disaster, hope can still be found. Sometimes miracles wear whiskers and walk on four paws. Rusty's journey reminds us all that even when everything seems lost, love and courage can help us rise from the ashes, stronger than before. 5 stories, each a testament to kindness, resilience, and the power of compassion. If you're inspired, support your local animal rescues. Adopt, foster, donate, or volunteer. You can be the hero in an animal's story. Share your own rescue stories in the comments below. Let's fill this space with hope and love. Thank you for watching and being part of this community. Be kind to one another. See you next time.